Start recording. That's OBS. Now let's get on with the lesson today. We're going to talk about the three critical things. This is a day 30, and what we're supposed to talk today is about CPI. We're going to go a little bit deeper dive into the CPI, and we're also going to go towards a little bit of PCE and the Fed policy on it, and Producers Price Index, PPI, all three of them. I'm going to do them all three in together because they're so similar to each other. A lot of people don't understand what's the difference between CPI, PCE, and the PPI, because all three of them are inflationary numbers, right? But each of them means different levels. So that's what I'm going to talk about. We're going to bring it down to the little bit of how do we get the CPI, how do we get the PCE number, and how do we get the Producers Price Index. So we're going to talk about these three numbers together because they're all so similar. Okay, so we're going to talk about the CPI first, and we're going to start from right from the what does CPI mean? Basically, CPI means Consumer Price Index. That means at the retail level. Well, like us, people like us, when we go to store, we buy goods, whether we go to Costco, doesn't matter what store we go. CPI basically means are the prices of those things that we are buying, are they going up or are they going down? If they're going up, that's inflationary. That means prices are going up. It's inflation is increasing. That usually means to the Feds, well, increase the interest rates, right? But if they're going the other way, that means decrease the interest rate. So that's what CPI basically means. Let's look at the basket of goods that it measures. Okay, so who measures this data? This data is measured by the BLS, which is a Bureau of Labor Statistics in the U.S. They measure this stuff and then they put it out each month. Okay. Yeah, what are the categories in the CPI? What are the things they take for inflation that they measure it against? The first one is anything with housing. Okay, you buy the housing, anything like your house and stuff like that, and they also buy what you buy for construction. For house, if you're building your basement, garage, or increasing. What are the prices of those products? Are they going up or are they going down? And then it also takes food. The common things like food that are bread, milk, and eggs. Those are the kind of things that common things that every person buys for home, and those are the things that are for the food. Then also your transportation cost, like you might be paying for your insurance. You might be paying for your gas, like the price going up and down on gas, right? That is included in the CPI. Then also your medical care, especially in the US, because they pay out of their own pocket for medical care, and they are also looking at those prices. Are those prices going up and down? Okay, so that is part of the CPI as well. Then also recreation, like when you're enjoying something, or like parks out there. What are you doing for recreation? If you're buying stuff for that, going camping and stuff like that, they measure the price of those things. Are those things are going up and down? Also education. You might be certain where you're sending your kids to private schools and stuff like that. What is the cost of that? Or any in the public education, well, for the books and stuff like that, what is the cost? What about tuition fees? Are they going up and down? And they measure that in the consumer goods, consumer price index. Okay, and then apparel, all the other stuff, that anything else, the small little things that gets added into the CPI. Okay, so it's over 80,000 items, really a monthly that these guys look at. Are the prices of 80,000 items going up and down? They go into retail stores, the popular ones, service providers, and also the landlords as well, looking at the housing cost and whether the rents are going up or the rents are going down. So we call this price collection. This is where they're getting all their information and the data to get to the CPI. Okay, so basically that's how they arrive with the CPI, and they calculate that. They have a little formula. I'm not gonna put the formula out in front of you. They take the formula and basically calculate all that stuff and see what, and they multiply by 100, and they get the CPI. Okay. So basically, that is your basically CPI stuff. I mentioned all the things that it measures. Is there any questions on CPI? Okay, no questions. Next one we're going to talk about is a PCE, which is a Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index. Okay, these are what is PCE? PCE is basically price changes in
I'm
all
sorry to
goods and
interrupt you, Paji.
services consumed by household, regardless who pays, consumer, employer, government. So this includes everything. Remember, I did not say government stuff in the last in the CPI. So in this one, they actually include services that don't come out of your pocket. Okay,
Hello, I'm
they
sorry
measure
to interrupt you,
everything
Paji. Can you hear
what I
me?
just mentioned, plus they include these prices that the government pays for, like some of the benefits you get, the government benefits you may have received. Those kind of things are they measure these. Are they going up or are they going down, regardless who pays? Okay. I'm not talking particularly about, and you don't have chart. I don't have a chart. I'm just giving just a general talk. Basically, I'm talking about each individual thing. I can, no, I have nothing in front of me that's on the chart. Basically, I can go to actually show you on the Forex Factory. Okay, I can put the data in front of you. But there's nothing really. I don't have anything that is anything particular. So this one we're talking about is well, none. Go to Canadian, US. I'll go to CPI search. Actually, PCE data. So I'm basically explaining you all this. I'm not. There's nothing really that stands. There's nothing that's here that I am looking at, or I don't have any charts or anything like that. Okay. So there's no presentation. It's just a talk about CPI, PCE, and now we're talking about PCE, which is like I said, it measures it's consumed by household, but it does not get even in your own company where you're working, you may receive benefits, right? If you're receiving those benefits, they don't count in your in the CPI, but they do count in the PCE data. Okay, so those kind of stuff that come in. So spending data basically comes from for the PCE data comes from GDP accounts like national income or product accounts. Okay, which includes consumer spending or third party payments like Medicare's again looking at the government benefits that you're getting, and top of it plus what you're also getting in the CPI. Okay, so then there is also how is it all weighted? It's weighted on the Fisher index. I don't know if you ever guys heard that. They use the Fisher index in weighting of all this stuff. This is another formula. I will post these formulas for the CPI and the PCE. Maybe I should just how they calculate it. Maybe I'll just put it in the chat now. Uh, Okay, this is for the PCE. I will. What is that? Why is that doing? Sorry, I'm not getting it. Maybe I should just take a picture of it. I'm just going to take a picture of the formula. Only scientists can figure this out, okay? Only the scientists can, or the mathematicians can calculate it. So that is PCE. I'm going to also put the CPI as well. I don't use these calculations, guys. So if you're asking me to explain to you these calculations, believe me, I have never done it, and I'm not gonna do it now. Okay. So I'm sure that you guys are mathematicians, can figure these formulas out. And this is for CPI. Okay. So again, talk about the third one. We'll be talking about PPI. So again, this stuff includes all the benefits that you don't pay for. Okay. And this is the data that Donald, what's it, Jerome Paul likes to look at, because it includes everything. Everything includes the CPI and plus the government data that they're giving you. So that's why he likes to look at this data. If this data is going up, remember that 0.9 that came in the month before, and then they adjusted it to 0.7. It caused a big headache in the stock market when the 0.9 data came out. That market it dropped, right? So that was a PPI data, but the PCE data again wasn't as much strong as the PPI data was. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the PPI. That is producers price index. What does basically this means is, remember that I talk about that car when they manufacture that car. Is the price went up or down? Is the price of metal, all the stuff they were buying to put the car together, did the car get more expensive or did the car get cheaper? Okay, if it got expensive, that means the PPI went up. That means that car coming down the line, and when it comes to the consumer level, it's going to cost you a lot more, right? If the price went the other way, cheaper, they might, take the price down a little bit off that car. So again, that's what PPI basically means. So what is what it measures is basically the average change in the price received by domestic producer of goods and services at the wholesale. So this is at the wholesale. The CPI is at the retail level, right? So it looks at what kind of services. So it covers service sold for personal consumption, capital investment, government, and exports. It does not include imports. When it's imported, it's not measured. Okay, that means it goes to another country. They whatever their price or PPI is, they measure it there. But if you're sending all our cars, foreign cars, and nobody's buying here, we are not measuring that data. We do not include that data. Okay. So the price, basically example of the formula I will put in here. So PPI is basically anything and anywhere that the factory at the wholesale level, what they make to sell it to consumer. Is that price going up? Like aluminum, we have 50% tariff on. Steel, we have 50% tariff on. Those kind of things are hiking up the price of the product that we make here. But if we sell it to consumers here, we count it in the PPI. But if we make it and send it overseas to somebody else, we do not count that because we are not buying that. We are not spending the money on that item. Okay. So basically, I'm going to put a little bit of difference of data in here 1 second. So basically, very simple, this stuff. So you must understand these three levels. Really is, once you understand it, you'll be able to tell what direction the interest rates are going to go. Okay. So interest rates basically are going up and down due to these individual, numbers that are going up. CPI is at consumer level. That affects us. PCE data affects us well, but it doesn't have the government and the government data and the business data. And PPI is what's produced at the factory level. So you can see them all. If the most important one I said is PCE data, that is telling us that which includes everything. Okay. But the CPI is, you'll feel that when you go to Costco, you'll go to Target, when you go personal shopping and stuff. Okay. So those are the three most important data. What happened to if CPI goes up? Interest rate most likely go up. If the CPI comes down, most likely interest rates are going to come down. PPI, if it goes up, chances are interest rates are going to go up. Okay. And if it comes down, chances are interest are going to go down. Same thing with the PCE. If the PCE goes up, that means inflation interest rates go up. If they come down, inflation going down, interest rates come down. So you can see all three of them. If all three of them go up, that's even stronger indication that we're going to get inflation. If we see all three numbers going up together, you most likely you won't see a rate cut, right? And chances are they might may increase the interest rate. Okay, one or the other may have a little bit less effect, but when all three of them are going in the same direction, it's a much more stronger indication. If they're going to the upside, inflation. If all three of them are going to the downside, it's deflation. It's going the other way. Okay. So anybody have any questions on this data? I want you to understand it. Next time you're looking at CPI coming out next week, I want you to take a guess at it. I want you to see if you can guess it right. See if you can. You went to the store out there, CPI. You went to Costco, and if you can feel the prices are going up or the prices are going down. And that way, if you are able to predict that kind of thing, you'll be a very good futures trader, because you'll be able to tell that data that if the data goes up, you know what's going to happen. If the data goes down, you know what's going to happen. And when you look at all three of them as they come out, we saw CPI and PPI last week, and with that check, we're saying we're going to get like a quarter point cut. We're pretty sure we're going to get a quarter point cut. So we'll see the retail numbers tomorrow, which are also, believe it or not, inflationary numbers. And if those are retailers' number, but those numbers, they don't consider them as hardcore as the three numbers that we just talked about. Okay. Anybody have any questions on this? Everybody's good on this? Best time to ask wise questions is probably now. How does it affect bonds? Very good question, BPS. They're all interrelated, right? So everything is interrelated. So what happens when this data comes in strong, right? What comes in, if you look at it, interest rate's going to go up, right? If the interest rate's going to go up, what's going to happen with the bonds? Right? What's going to happen with the bonds? That's the way you got to think about it. If interest rates are going up, if the yields are going up, bonds usually go down. Right? They're all related. Even the Forex. If you look at the Forex market, you look at the bonds, they are all interrelated. The interest rates have a big effect. Right? Oh, yields go up, right? Yields go up. So when they issue new bonds, right, people are less reluctant to take bonds at higher prices, but they'll take a higher yield. Like right now, if you get 5% yield, people will take that. Okay. And we're going to talk about more bonds. Actually, there's a whole class on bonds itself. Okay. And we will compare them with the interest rates. What happens in the past? What's going to go forward? Okay. So there is to talk about. Okay. So we'll talk about bonds itself. Bonds are very interesting, right? We had a class before. There's another class recorded on them, on the bonds. Okay. If you look at the bonds, there's another class recorded on. I think there is a class recorded on it. Just bonds itself. I'll pull it out. I'll pull a link in here, and you can take a look at what it basically says. Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of data. So just remember, when the bonds and the yields, if the yields go up, the bonds go down. And if the yields go the other way, the bonds go up. It's very simple. They're inverse to yield. Always remember that inverse, right? Bond yields, bond prices. And that's why we have the bonds right now. Our bonds are going up. See, if you look at here, the bond price that we are holding, all the bond prices are up because the yield is going down right now. Right. So remember, when the big thing is when the bond, like when interest rates are going up, it's or yields are going up, it's the new bonds you got to worry about. Okay, when the treasury puts out new bonds, when they sell them, if the yields are going up, like interest rates are going up, they're going to have to issue bonds at higher prices, or sorry, higher yield. They're going to have to issue bonds at higher yields. And that's what Donald Trump doesn't want. That's why he wants the interest rates to go down, so he can issue more bonds at lower bond rate, yield. There's a bond rate and yield. These are two different things. Okay. So remember, guys, it's very important that you understand the relationship. The Forex has a relationship. The bonds have a relationship. The interest rates have a relationship. CPI, PPI, PCE data have a relationship. They all have a relationship with each other. They all affect each other. And if then don't forget the GDP and the non-farm payroll. They are all interrelated. If you can understand all of them, how they affect each other, you're going to be a good investor, and you should be able to predict what direction the market's going to go, and you should be able to tell what direction the economy in the US is going. GDP going up or the GDP going down, right? If GDP is going up, we have economy that's doing well. If the GDP is going down, we have an economy that's going to the downside, and that's going to affect interest rates, and that's going to affect the country dollar. It's going to affect your yield. It's going to affect everything. So we put everything together for the last, all the information that we have now from the past. Now it's giving us a quarter point cut. It's saying us we should cut interest rate by a quarter point. We're looking at all that data. Okay. So interest rates are, right now, interest rates are going down and the bond prices are going up. And when the bond prices go down, it's the inverse the other way. Very simple. So good question. I love these questions. Anybody else have a question? If interest rates go up, bond prices go down. Very simple. And that's why those banks went bankrupt when they were at very low interest rates, because they had the bonds locked up to 1%. So when the prices of bonds went to the upside, they were losing tons of money. Oh, sorry, the yields were going up. Yields going up. When the yields were going up, they were losing tons of money. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I start on the algo?
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
So let's bring down the algo. Take a lot of questions. Okay. First of all, the first question is, what time frame do I use this thing on? Okay. What you first make sure you guys can see all this. Okay, I'm gonna put all this together. That's no, hang on. Maybe you know what? I'm gonna stop my recording here.